Welcome to episode 94 of the Frenemies Sports Podcast. We have a new addition today. Carter, due to technical difficulties, could not join us. Everyone, Ryan Mace.
Welcome.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here. Very excited.
Ryan is Jack's roommate at Ohio University, the prestigious OU. So we are glad to have him. Big Browns fan as well. So he still, joins the core here. Start with Thursday night. I think no one was expecting what happened on Thursday. Jackson's Lions, the roar was restored. Jackson, you go first on this one, buddy.
Yeah, so just phenomenal. I did pick the Chiefs. I didn't think the roar was going to be restored week one, but it was. That's huge. I don't have much analysis on this game, but I do have a fun story to tell you guys. So Ryan and myself, along with T-Dog, which is Tanner, we were out at Applebee's. We had a very charismatic waiter, great guy. And we found out when the game started, he told us, he goes, boys, I got the Lions going up 7-0 at any time in the game. And let me tell you, I have never seen an Applebee's as electric as the one we were at on Thursday night when Ross St. Brown caught the first touchdown of the NFL season. So proud of the waiter, bets hit, proud of the Lions, proud of Dan Campbell. It was exactly the start we were looking for to restore the roar in Detroit.
Yeah. I'll go next a little bit on the Chiefs side. I'm not as big of a Lions fan as you, Jackson. I don't really care for him. I'll root for him, but I don't really care. Mahomes look great. Chiefs line look great. Even the defense looked great. Now, if the things I wanted to say on my mind about Kadarius Toney I said out loud would be kicked off immediately. So I'm not going to do that. But holy shit, do the Chiefs need weapons. And that just shows you how bad they rely on Kelsey, and that's scary.
And Sky Moore. Equally as bad as Kadarius.
Sky Moore got me a whopping 0.6 in fantasy this week.
Ryan, your thoughts on the game? Yeah, all you, buddy. You chime when you want to.
I think I agree with Hunter. I thought the Chiefs played well. I think they'll be fine. If Travis Kelsey comes back, I don't think it's as serious as Jack thinks. Jack acted like he ruptured every tendon in his knee. They'll be fine when he gets back. The Lions are legit, especially in that division. I don't think the Vikings are very good. I'm sure Jack will touch on that later, what happened to the Vikings this weekend. But, I think Jack's right. I think the roar's restored.
I'm afraid at how much they rely on Kelsey. Like, if he gets hurt, they're legit done. Like, they won't win above, 8 or 9 games.
I don't think Sky Moore's that bad. I think he's had a rough one. Toney, on the other hand...
I agree. I agree with that. But
I think it's a week one overreaction. I think they'll all be fine. Even when Kelsey doesn't play, I think they'll be fine.
Is there a reason Justin Ross got no snaps? He apparently dominated the preseason. He's been great all training camp. He was a legit receiver in college. Yeah, he went to Clemson.
That's why.
So did DeAndre Hopkins. But why is he getting no snaps? I mean, you couldn't have had a worse receiving trio than what we saw on Thursday.
If I'm going to be honest, I've never heard of Justin Ross in my life.
What? Well, he was like how?
Chicken.
Clemson was relevant last year. I do, but they were relevant last year. And if you didn't make the Chiefs receiver corps for Sky Moore, then obviously
Jake, Justin Ross was prominent in college when Clemson was winning national championships.
Justin Watson played over him. A white guy named the number's 84 on the Chiefs.
Well, you don't need to bring race into
obviously
this.
he lacks some talent.
I'd be shocked if Justin Ross didn't play next week, and then I would have some serious concern on the Chiefs staff. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's rookie week one, get his feet wet. Kind of like Gibbs, what they were doing with Gibbs. Gibbs will play a lot more week 2. He looked really good, by the way.
Yeah, what is the deal with Dan Campbell and David Montgomery in pass blocking?
Having Gibbs in fantasy, I have an opinion on this. I thought it was just awful. I mean, when Gibbs got the ball, he did fantastic, and they just took him out of the game.
Yeah.
David Montgomery's just known for 3-yard runs. I don't know. I think Gibbs will get more as Jackson gets his feet wet and plays more. But God, I hope the David Montgomery show ends soon.
Now, I know this has no relevance to the Lions and the Chiefs game right now, but it looks like Rodgers might torn his Achilles.
Yeah, that's what they're fearing.
The Jets are done if that's the case. I'm sorry, we'll get there, but I just saw that.
We'll get there. We'll get there. A lot of games to go.
All right, let's make this quick. Texans, Ravens. I was watching. We had a little quad screen going on, so during the Browns game, I also got to see some of this game. The Ravens didn't look good. Lamar Jackson looked horrible. He was constantly running around. There was a lot of turnovers. If Houston wasn't as putrid as they are, they would have lost that game. But they scattered away. Defense played well. So good for the Ravens.
And I feel so bad for J.K. Dobbins. He's on like every single one of my fantasy teams too. I had such high hopes for them this year. Like I honestly feel like he was going to be good this year, and he just can never catch a break.
Yeah, in the 20-man league, I was doing the draft, and I said to Jack, should I take Brandon Ayuk or should I take J.K. Dobbins? Quote from Jack O'Neal, barring a severe leg injury from J.K. Dobbins, take him.
With the very next pick, I took Brandon Ayuk, who had a stellar game for me.
Possible league winner.
Yes, I was very proud of that pick. Quick takeaway on Ravens-Texans. Odell Beckham Jr. is a horrible human being. If you guys saw, J.K. Dobbins, great guy. He's a great person. Had it rough in his childhood, as Gus Johnson touched on at the broadcast a few years ago. Lucky to be here, truthfully.
His mom dealt with drug addiction.
Yeah, mom dealt with drug addiction, thought about getting rid of him, but stayed the course, kept JK, turned into a great player, and better person. So it sucks to see a guy like J.K. Dobbins go through these tumultuous injuries. And then what's even worse, it's right after the game, Odell Beckham Jr. gets right on Twitter, can't spell a word right, and just talks about how great he was and how awesome he is. No mention about J.K. Dobbins, none whatsoever. And I made sure to tell Odell Beckham Jr. on Twitter. And then today, Odell put out a tweet that was so incoherent. I would have had a better chance at translating the Hebrew Bible to English than I would have translating that Odell tweet to comprehension. It was horrible. Odell should be ashamed of himself. Not just a bad football player, but a really, really bad person.
Jackson, I just pulled up the tweet you pulled up from today. I would agree. Not a lot of English and.
Can you read it?
Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to know it. I'd like an accent as well. How would Odell say it?
Long season, Beesh. Just need a little WD-40. You lie, you steal. I'd never lie to you twice. Laughy face.
I have one thing to say to Jack here. I love J.K. Dobbins. Not a big Odell guy, but I'm going to defend him. I mean, all he said in this tweet was, glad to be back out there. A lot of work to put in. We finna get it poppin', Flock Nation. I don't know how that's talking about bragging about
We finna get it poppin' right after Dobbins popped his Achilles.
Fair enough. Touche. Poor choice of words, OBJ.
I will say, and speaking of poor choice of words, Odell can't get a word out. I mean, I would love, you know what I'd love? I would love to watch the President of the United States read Odell's tweets.
All right, next game.
What about Mitch McConnell?
Well, if it was Mitch McConnell, Scooby-Doo. Not funny. Thoughts and prayers to Mitch.
Bengals Browns in Cleveland, 24-3. Ryan is not Carter, but Ryan also thought the Browns were going to win this game going into it. The only person that didn't was our Cincinnati Bengals fan, Jackson O'Neal. Holy cow, the Browns defense was amazing. For the first time on a week one in my lifetime, I watched the fourth quarter, calm, with a nice, a water in my hand, just stress-free, and it was absolutely wonderful.
What type of water?
Ice.
Aquafina.
Aquafina.
I mean, nothing like some water on the rocks.
But no, what pissed me off today, listening to like The Herd or First Things First, any one of the sports shows, it was not about how the Browns beat the Bengals. It was about how the Bengals is week one, they're never good against the Browns. It's always just one of those things. Joe Burrow is reigning. And that stuff just makes me mad because the past times we beat Burrow is with Joe Woods as the DC. Now it's a whole new coaching staff. So it's not just, it's always happens. This is a new thing. The Browns defense is for real. And to talk about the offense really quick, it didn't look great in the downpour, but in the second half, Deshaun Watson looked very good. He wasn't underthrowing or overthrowing his pass like it was in the first half. He looked very, very good. His feet allows the running game to do so much more. Because the DN can't just follow Nick Chubb now. They actually count for Deshaun Watson's legs. It opens up the entire thing. I'm very excited for next Monday night in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. No, the only issue I had with Watson was accuracy. He wasn't great accuracy-wise. Like, he had some very poor throws. But my God, do his feet make up for it? Like, we've never had that, ever.
And they were always they were always to the right person. It was never a bad throw that was not supposed to be there. It was always open receivers for the most part.
I know the pick got tipped, but I don't know what he was doing with that.
Yeah, the pick was bad. I'll say this. This offense has a chance to be top 3 in the league if Deshaun Watson returns to form. He had so many open receivers that he missed. The score really could have been 31 or 38-3. So I'll say that. In regards to the defense, Joe Woods, the Browns' former defensive coordinator, the Browns had one massive addition this offseason defensively. That's Zadarius Smith. They added Shelby Harris, not a huge addition. They added Juan Thornhill. That's a decent addition. Okonkwo, but yeah, it's not like these aren't like blockbuster moves. And this defense has rapidly transformed. Joe Woods needs to be put on a polygraph and tested for federal crimes. Federal prison for Joe Woods. It's unbelievable the difference a single week made.
Was he
Joe
ever
Woods
hired?
wasted.
No, of course not.
Somewhere else? Okay, that's what I thought.
Joe Woods is now the type of guy. He's now the type of guy.
He has to be like a linebackers coach. There's no way he doesn't have a job.
He won't even get that gig. I guarantee you, if his son is like in a competitive Pee Wee football league, there's no way that team hires Joe Woods to coach them.
Their defense it just looks so much more well coached. I mean, last year would have been if the offense needed 6, we gave up 7. This year, if they needed 5, we gave up 4. Everyone played the sticks, and the pressure is wonderful. Also, Myles Garrett doing basketball moves to their center was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
That was amazing.
Martin Everson's going to be a star. I'm calling it now.
He's a stud. Newsome playing in the slot played a lot better than he did last year, too.
And Delpit. I wrote Delpit off last year. He sucked. But my
God, was phenomenal.
I wrote Delpit off at halftime of the Bengals Monday night game, and after that, he's played phenomenal ever since.
Yeah.
I will say, the only thing that would derail everything is injuries. Knock on wood. But Carter Hip. Hold on, everyone. Okay. We're into level 5 by now. Carter Hip is now entered the group chat here. Carter, can you speak? Carter.
We'll wait till the next kid.
Next game here. Let's see. Buccaneers, Vikings. Jackson, this is going to you. I'm going to deal with how to get Carter back in here.
Yeah, so first and foremost, the reason Ryan's on this podcast is because of Carter's inability to perform, which Carter has an inability to perform on the podcast, on the basketball court, and somewhere else. That said, this Vikings-Buccaneers game was huge. It was huge for a huge reason. Buccaneers were big underdogs. They're playing a playoff team with arguably the second, third greatest receiver all time, has the potential to be. He isn't there yet, but he has the potential to be, no doubt. Baker Mayfield had a 95 passer rating, 21 of 34, 2 touchdowns, no picks, no turnovers, and he played bad. That was the stat line of a bad Baker Mayfield game. Is that not incredible? Baker Mayfield has the chance to elevate this Buccaneers team. As I said, they will win the division, and after watching the NFC South perform this week, Panthers are done. Falcons suck. It's now a two-way race, and the Saints are terrible. If they played any other teams than the Titans, I think they lose. I'm extremely excited. The Buccaneers, I would put so much money on the Buccaneers to win this division. I think it's a lock. Baker played bad. Great second half. Great second half. I'm not a gambling man. I put my money in the stock market. No, I put my money in the stock market. You'll come to learn this. No, Baker Mayfield, so proud of him. Everyone wrote him off, and he's back. He's here to stay, and it's awesome. So very proud of Baker.
So you say it's a bad game. I would have taken that game. Like, how many games did he play in Cleveland? 30? I probably would have taken that 29 out of 30 times for a bad Baker Mayfield game.
No, because you're forgetting
I'm very pissed, too. I'm very high.
Jake, be quiet.
Yes, no, this is Carter.
Oh,
that is Carter speaking. Carter cannot speak through his own computer.
Why is that?
He can speak through FaceTime. So, Carter, what about you talk about the Browns really quick, and then...
Shit. And your little Oh my God. Oh
No,
my
I
God.
already don't appreciate this. No,
you
you were on
absolutely
time.
not.
You were on time. You were late. You couldn't get your computer together. You can't figure out how to use the damn microphone. You just click on mute. And now here you go on this little tangent. And now the audio sounds terrible. And it's your fault. No one to blame but you.
Tired and I couldn't do it anymore.
Ryan figured this
Big
out in
lab
30
day.
seconds. It took
Big
him 30
fire next
seconds,
episode,
maybe
or my
less. It was
computer will be-
unbelievably easy. Yeah,
That
you
is all
couldn't
it's
figure it
today.
out. We've done 94
Continue to be
episodes, and
great.
it took Ryan
Everyone
30
wakes
seconds
up
on his
here.
first episode to get in here. And you have failed. And you have failed again and again and again. You fail everywhere, and you did it again.
Carter's now gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frenemies Nation, again, no disrespect to Carter. I love him. I do. He's like, I don't want to call him a brother to me. He's like the deranged lost uncle we found on Naked and Afraid. But to be so unprepared and to be so belligerent about it, it grinds my gears, you know? It grinds my gears. It shouldn't happen. I'm sorry you guys have to deal with it because now there's a weird cutoff. If you're one of our Apple podcast listeners or they don't provide video, you're going to be really confused.
I just want to say it. I felt like when Shaq called in on Stephen A's radio show.
Yeah, it's a shame that Carter doesn't carry the weight that Shaquille O'Neal does. That would have been a great segment if
Uncle Shaq?
Uncle Shaq here, Carter down there. Sorry
Okay.
about that, Frenemies Nation.
So
I
James,
thought it'd be a good game.
You liked Baker? Baker looked good out there?
Solid.
No, Baker didn't look good, and he had a great game, is what I'm saying.
I was going to say, in the first half, I think his stat line was he was 40% passing and had like 40 yards. However, he finished
touchdown.
strong. So I'll give credit where credit's due. However, when he faces a defense with a good defensive front, is when I think the wheels start to come off.
See, that's where I disagree with you, Jake. He started to turn around in the second half, looked good in the second half. As the year progresses, he'll get more comfortable. This is his first game in the system.
But Jack,
No, Jack, hold on. So I'm going to go back to this. By your standards, that wasn't a good Baker Mayfield game.
I'm just saying, he did not look good out there, and the stats were good.
So do you think Baker Mayfield was good in Cleveland? Because that was better than 75% of the games he played for the Browns.
Well, and I've said this near a million times now. Baker was great in Cleveland when he was healthy, and Odell Beckham Jr. was not on the field. When those two variables coincided...
That was one game.
No, multiple games. No. All of his rookie year. None of his second year. And then his third year from the Bengals game on, he was great.
Essentially,
And then-
just
and then-
take
and then-
all of Baker's
Hold on,
games out.
Hold on.
Exactly.
And then no, because this is true. And then you go into the next season, week 1 against the Chiefs. Baker was great. No Odell. Go into the Texans. Baker had 2 incompletions. No Odell. Baker was great. You bring back Odell, Baker falls apart.
Ryan has a great point, though. If this Baker was 21 for 34, 173, and 2 touchdowns, if he did that in Cleveland, that would be a great game for him. So, Jackson, I don't know what your standards are of him in Tampa Bay.
A great game for Baker in Cleveland. He threw five touchdowns against Cincy, 4 against the Titans.
Game. That's such an outlier.
Jackson,
that's
Jackson,
not, that's
an
not
outlier.
consistent.
I'll keep naming them. He threw 3 touchdowns in the playoffs, for Pete's sake. No picks.
Jackson,
What,
that
which, the
stat
Steelers?
line, if he would do that, if he did it in Cleveland, that would be, yes, he had a good game. He had a
Yeah,
very
good game. That's a good game.
no, the 3 touchdowns in the playoffs
That's a good
against
game
the
in
Steelers.
Tampa as well.
Out of 1 out of 10, that was a 9 out of 10 for Baker's games. 8 out of 10.
Yes.
I would
Yes.
disagree with that. But Baker's performance against Minnesota right now, that's a top 5 quarterback performance in the league
Oh my
this year.
God.
I don't think you
Okay.
could name me 5 better quarterback performances week 1 than Baker.
Keep going.
Deshaun
Keep
Watson
going.
played better than
Keep
Baker
going.
Mayfield. I don't care about
See,
how many
honestly,
touchdowns.
my lot.
CJ Stroud played better with what he's dealing with.
Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Justin
Brock
Herbert,
Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
Someone say Tua.
All right, so maybe
Yes.
around 8. Maybe around 7 or 8. But he top 10.
Mac
top 10.
Jones.
No.
Jalen Hurts. I'd put Deshaun Watson in there over Baker.
I would have
Jordan
put
Love.
Deshaun over Baker.
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love wasn't great.
Matt Stafford. Jordan.
Jack, did you watch that game?
Okay,
I watched
no,
all of it.
No, now you apologize.
Jacob.
You're going to
Good.
apologize to Jordan Love.
Jacob,
Okay,
keep
hold
going.
on. I would like, before this, I was shat on for saying the Vikings were going to have a very difficult season.
Sam Howell played better than Baker Mayfield.
Great point, Ryan.
Disagree. You played the Cardinals.
The Vikings played the Buccaneers against Baker. That, according to Jackson, had not a great game, and the Vikings still lost. The Vikings are not going to be great this year. I'm telling you right now. I was honest before week one.
No, the Vikings are a good team.
To that. I'm sticking to that.
Good
All
team.
right, next game, Titans Saints. This was probably the most Titans Saints game you can draw up. It was just turnovers and turnovers, field position, and Saints won by 1. There's not a lot of takeaways here. Derek Carr looked okay. Ryan Tannehill looked putrid, and Derrick Henry is still Derrick Henry.
Yeah, not much to say.
I saw a meme on TikTok. It was that video from the Bullet Train movie with the two guys looking down, and it was Malik Willis and Will Levis looking at Ryan Tannehill trying to give him playing time.
Do you start them? After Ryan Tannehill the week 1? Do you play Will or do you play Willis?
Who do they play week 2?
They play Chargers at home.
I give Will Levis a shot. You
Yeah.
know what you're going to get out of Tannehill. Why wouldn't you give Levis a run?
I agree with that. Tannehill's not going to win that Titans team games.
All right, we'll go on to the next game. Let's see. Panthers-Falcons. Falcons win. Bijan Robinson's first touchdown was absolutely amazing. And I also have him in fantasy. That was wonderful. Bryce Young looked okay. Didn't look great, but that was pretty expected. And Matt Ritter had his stat line after throwing a touchdown was 0 yards. Desmond Ritter. Apologize. At one point, he had negative 12 yards.
This makes me very excited about the NFC South because I think the Buccaneers can run away with it.
The Buccaneers are not running away with anything.
They're going to run away with the division.
There's a chance they can win it at 6 and 11, but they're not running away with any division.
I said this before. They're going to have a 9-10 win season.
Baker Mayfield will be playing for a different team by week 8.
Oh, just you wait, buddy boy. I do think the Panthers have the first overall pick at the end of the year. Is my bold take.
The Bears would have it.
Oh, I think the Panthers have the worst record in the league then at the end of the year.
And I like your initial bold take.
Huh?
I like your initial one. That was physically impossible.
Oh, well, not physically. The Bears could trade it back.
Well, for what? What do the Panthers have that the Bears want?
Well, I mean, they take Brian Burns. They're not going to make a trade with them. That's an insane hypothetical. No, I think the Panthers finish with I've been so anti-Bryce Young, and Bryce Young's a great guy. He's a really good dude, really humble, good teammate, good friend. You could call him a fellower. He's just not a good quarterback. It's not going to work in the NFL. I hate to say it.
If Bryce Young went to Ohio State, you'd be tooting his praises in the NFL.
Because he looked terrible.
No. You're the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. Whichever quarterback that goes to a rival school you don't like.
I actually have a lot of respect for Alabama. I don't like them, but I respect them.
CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, who played better week 1?
They were both bad. Neither of them had a good game.
He knows it. He just doesn't want to say it.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be... They both had bad games. I mean, very serious. Going forward, I would not want Bryce Young on my football team. He's
okay, if you had to take him right now,
he weighs less than I do. If I had to take CJ Stroud in a heartbeat, he has an NFL build. He's 5 inches taller than Bryce Young.
I guarantee if we switch the universities they went to, you would change your opinion.
Probably not. No.
No, I guarantee it. If Trevor Lawrence went to Ohio State, we would also be touting his praises.
I was not big on JT Barrett after his 5th year.
Thank you. No. Thank you, Jackson, for your.
I did not think JT Barrett would have worked out in the NFL. I was a huge Cardale Jones fan. That was his first start against Wisconsin, 59-0.
All right, Jaguars Colts. No, you're done. Jaguars Colts. Colts had a chance to win it. Turn the ball over. No idea why they didn't just kick the field goal. But Richardson looked good. I think he was by far the best rookie quarterback showing wise. However, he is going to get injured. He used every single time he tried to run the ball and he got nailed. He'll last a couple more games till he's injured again, or till he's injured. But other than that, Jaguars looked good. Calvin Ridley, he is back. That offense is going to be deadly. But yeah, Richardson overall looked good, but he's going to get hurt.
I will say one thing. I have Christian Kirk in a lot of fantasy leagues, and I was very disappointed. I mean, Calvin Ridley, for not playing a year of football, looked just dominant. I mean, he was a target hog. Like, just literally, I felt like every ball was thrown to him, and it really pissed me off. So now I feel like I have to drop Christian Kirk.
My one thing on this game, I think Tank Bigsby should be investigated for gambling.
Would you like to expand on that?
No. Just investigate him.
Fair enough. Jackson, anything about this?
Yeah, I'll keep my thoughts short and brief here. I think the Colts have failed. Jim Irsay, Chris Ballard. It's what I call a no-no organization. No one wants to go there. They did a bad job.
Thank you for the insightful analysis. All right, next one, 49ers Steelers. Absolute beatdown in Pittsburgh. We're talking about this in pickup, but me and Jack were very wrong picking the Steelers. They were horrible. They were dominating the entire game. I don't think they got a first down until the 2-minute warning in the second quarter. Kenny Pickett was bad, but the 49ers just look electric. Their defense is great. Their offense has a weapon at every single skill position, and they have a great O-line. If they stay healthy, that team is primed for a Super Bowl run.
Yeah, and with Cam Hayward getting injured as well. I mean, I know it's week 1. You don't want to overreact, but holy shit, did they look like the worst team in football?
I agree.
mean, they were awful. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a massive Browns fan. They legit looked awful.
Here comes Jack saying that they're going to finish above 500.
All right, it was really, I'll be honest, I picked the Steelers to win. I'm very thankful that I was wrong on that pick. I really enjoyed watching them get the shit beat out of them. I really enjoyed it. No one on this panel has ever seen a Steelers losing season. The last one was 2003. And I hope this is the year. All aspects point to this should be the year. This is not a good roster. Offensively, this is a horrible roster. Kenny Pickett's not good. Their wide receiver one's a drama queen. You could read his lips on the bench. He goes, "I'm not happy here. This is not it." I really hope this is the year the Steelers collapse and fall apart. But this is a team you can never count out because of Mike Tomlin. At least in the regular season. Postseason, Mike Tomlin is not a good coach. Regular season, Mike Tomlin's one of the best there is. He always finds a way to will his guys to wins. So I don't know. I'm so torn with this team, but I would not count them out yet. They also just played the best team arguably in football.
I hate to agree with O'Neal here, but there's no way Pittsburgh's this bad. And I really wish the Browns did not play in week 2 because they're going to come with a whole new game plan. They're going to come with a lot of energy, and I'm very afraid because the Browns are coming in hot, they're coming in cold, and I feel like we are going to lose away in Pittsburgh.
I think
However,
Pittsburgh's
if they kept
bad.
it close in San Fran, I think we would have beat them in Pittsburgh.
I think Pittsburgh's bad enough that I'm going to say this. I think Marvin Harrison's in black and yellow next season.
Yeah. That's not bad taking. I don't know how Pittsburgh can win games with Kenny Pickett. Like, I just don't see it. Like, there's legit no way. Kenny Pickett is awful.
Okay,
You
but
have to remember, though, they had a winning record with Kenny Pickett last year.
The end of last year, he played really well.
That was one of the worst week 1 showings I've seen in a long time.
But you gotta think back to like Justin Fields week 1 last year. He looked horrible. He ended up being okay in the season.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's week 1. Everything's so weird. I think it'll be fine. I think Pittsburgh, like Jack said, will be like a 9-win team. 8 to 9-win team.
Hunter. Joe Burrow had a worse week 1 this year than Kenny Pickett.
That's weather related. I'm
just
if it
saying,
doesn't rain, Joe Burrow's fine.
I mean, statistically, Kenny Pickett was significantly better than Joe Burrow. So do you think Joe Burrow's not going to do anything this year?
Oh.
Hunter?
I'm not answering that. That's a stupid question.
Well, I don't. You just based Kenny Pickett's entire season off week 1 against the best defense in the NFL.
Okay, Kenny Pickett and Joe Burrow are extremely similar, first of all. And, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see, but they're about to play another one of the best defenses in the NFL in week 2, and I think we honestly asked Ronald of Pittsburgh.
No, I hope you're right. But again, you did say Pittsburgh cannot win with Kenny Pickett, yet last year Pittsburgh had a winning record with Kenny Pickett.
We'll see. I don't think this year. I don't think this is the year. I think this is the Pittsburgh class everyone's been waiting on.
I hope you're right.
Quick point for me on to the next game. I do have respect for Pittsburgh fans just because they are loyal and they usually do pack the stadium. It was all 49ers fans at the end there, and that's embarrassing on their part. It was literally all 49ers fans by halftime.
To keep the balance of this podcast fair, I want to say I have absolutely zero respect for Steelers fans. I have zero respect for anyone that lives in Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh. Horrible state, horrible city, disgusting. I've been there multiple times. Both times I've been there, there was a homeless man on the street, long red beard, no teeth. It's a disgusting, disgusting city. I hate those people. I hate that city. I hate that fan base.
I'd rather live in
and I have no
Pittsburgh than
respect for
Cincinnati.
any member of that fan base.
I'd rather live in Pittsburgh than Cincinnati. I hate Cincinnati so much.
I'm with Ryan here. I was in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, it's a very nice city.
I don't know if I hate
strongly
Cincinnati
disagree.
because Joe Burrow is literally the poster boy for football. When
Joe Burrow is just a Matt Rife wannabe.
I think. Yeah, I can't. Krista might listen to this episode. I have to keep my mouth shut.
Cincinnati fans piss me off though, because recently they're up on my nerves. I watched with Cincinnati fans for the Sunday game. About
Same.
half of them would not have been there 4 years ago.
Oh, 100%.
They're just riding the wave, and they're so smug and arrogant about it. It's so annoying.
I hope
But
Jamar Chase breaks his leg. I don't root for injuries, but I hope Jamar Chase breaks his leg.
Oh, yeah, that's something that should be harped on. Jamar Chase just put himself in Juju Smith-Schuster lure. I had no issue with Jamar Chase until he made the Cleveland is Cleveland comment. Insanely disrespectful. And then, I'm glad you did get your ass beat by a bunch of elves. That was great. But no, Jamar should be ashamed of himself. He looked terrible. He had a terrible game. I hope he has a terrible season. Justin Jefferson's going to reset the wide receiver market. And the Bengals are not going to pay Jamar Chase what he wants.
Yeah, they will.
They definitely will. The Bengals just can't get out of their own way. Because last year's Burrowhead, this year it's this shit, and they just can't get out of their own way. All right, next game, Cardinals Commanders. I would hope we could spend less time on this game. The Commanders barely won. Cardinals look better than I thought they were going to be. That's about it.
Did you guys see the one ref's flag tossed after he got hit?
That was very cool.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, we'll move on here. That was a nothing game. Raiders Broncos, kind of the same thing. Denver still sucks. Russell Wilson looked okay, but it was all just checkdowns, nothing downfield. Raiders with Jimmy Garoppolo, they didn't look good either, and they, had a drive at the end. They won it, but if I'm Denver and your $200 million quarterback contract that starts next year, and you're still looking like this, it's gonna be a dumpster fire in Denver this year.
I think the Raiders finish with the number 1 overall pick.
That's bold.
I do.
No shot. No.
Top
I'm
5
sure
at least.
You're not a Jimmy G guy?
No. Who's he going to throw it to? Even if I was a Jimmy G guy.
I feel like Devontae Adams is pretty good.
I was going to say they
Devontae
have that
Adams.
guy.
Outside of Devontae Adams, who's he going to throw it to?
Jacoby Myers did have 30 fantasy points.
Okay. Oh, well.
And then he
Died.
thank God he's okay.
Outside
When
of
they-
Devontae Adams, who's he going to throw the ball to?
When they cut
Matt
to Jacoby
Collins
Myers' face,
Atlanta.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh
Mac
Jacobs.
Collins.
Atlanta?
I
Did he play
don't
for
think he's on
Atlanta?
I don't think he's on the team anymore. Yeah.
I swear he's on
Foster
the
Moreau
Falcons.
left, and so did Waller. So I have no idea who the tight end is.
Yeah. They're going to triple team Devontae.
They're going to be the top 5 of the draft.
All right, let's move on to the actual good game. By far the game of the week. The fact that this was not the actual, the CBS 425 game that everyone could watch was just horrible. But Dolphins 36, Chargers 34. Tua had 400 and something passing yards. Tyreek Hill had him in fantasy, had 50 points fantasy-wise. I think he had 200 yards and over 14, 15 catches, something like that. Game was electric. Biggest worry, the Chargers head coach, Brandon Staley. is a defensive-minded head coach, and they have been horrible on defense the past 3 years with him there. He should have been gone after the collapse in the playoffs last year. He's still there, and that will be as long as he's there, they will not win these type of games purely because of him. If they were to fire him right now and hire anyone else, this team is a Super Bowl contender.
What if they hired Hugh Jackson?
Yes, even then, let someone else run the defense.
That's more bold than the Raiders take.
Okay, if I am the Chargers, I hire Greg Williams right away.
What about
Put
Joe
him at
Wood?
DC.
Joe Woods is
Let
available.
him
Freddie
kill
Kitchens.
some guys.
Let Freddie Kitchens call plays.
I would like to see that. Freddie as a play caller is actually, at least it'll be interesting.
When Austin Eckler runs halfback draw on 4th and 10, that'll be really interesting.
4th and 9.
Sorry.
It changes the whole yard,
I just don't know how you have Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and Derwin James, and your defense gets shredded for 36
Samuel,
points. Asante Samuel. And you spent money and draft picks, and you give up 36 points, and you looked absolutely horrible on defense.
It's not even that, too. It's, all you had to do was get in field goal range and win it, and you couldn't. I mean, Brandon Staley just always loses these types of games. And Herbert played great. The offense looked great. But whenever Brandon Staley finds himself in one of these situations, he always folds, always fails. It's never like, even when he missed the field goal, I think everyone knew, the Chargers aren't winning this. They never do.
Why? What? Jack, you're doing the same thing that we just yelled at all the analysts for doing to the Bengals. Why are we talking about how the Dolphins won? I mean, Tua looked amazing.
The
Tua
Dolphins
looked
were
absolutely
great.
fantastic.
The Tua was great. Tyreek Hill's on pace for 3,500 receiving yards right now. Tua and Tyreek Hill were exceptional. Mike McDaniel called a hell of a game. I'm just saying for the future of Chargers fans, this is how every game went last year. This is why you were a first-round exit in the playoffs. And the year before this is why you didn't make the playoffs with Brandon Staley. You lose these types of games, and you lose them consistently. You got to move on from Staley. I mean, the first ever post on Frenemies was that he's a beta, and it's just been proven correct over these years.
I don't get how Mike McDaniel works. He calls plays like I played Madden, and it works.
In fairness, he has an absurdly talented roster for a second-year head coach. But I do think he's a great coach.
I would say, I think it's extremely important that they get the number 1 seed, or at least the number 2 seed, because that offense with Tua's arm will not work if they're in cold weather. So they need to be at home in Miami when it comes to playoff time. Because they have to go to Buffalo and have to win a playoff game. Just not possible, because Tua cannot throw more than 30 yards in certain conditions.
After tonight, I don't see they have a clear path to a 1 seed. Or a 2 seed.
Barring injuries, yes. But we'll see how Tua does. All right, next game. Eagles-Patriots in New England. Tom Brady's little send-away thing. I thought it was going to be a blowout when it was 16-0 after 2 drives. But the Eagles just looked horrible. I mean, offensively, it was just... They had 16 points after, I think, 5-6 minutes, and then they scored 9 the rest of the game. They didn't look good at all. They couldn't run. They couldn't throw. The Patriots' offense actually looked somewhat okay in the second half. Well, the end of the first, second half. The Eagles tried every single way to give this game away to the Patriots. And if Tom Brady was still playing, the Patriots would win that game. But I'm not pressing the panic button on the Eagles, but that was not the way you want to start the year. And it shows that's why you at least have to play some preseason, because their players were not ready at all to play the game.
Correct.
Yeah. What Jack said.
Yeah, I have nothing else. I think the Patriots sneak into the playoffs. That's my bold take.
Thank you, Ryan, for adding something. Should the Patriots make the playoffs?
I think they sneak in. After tonight, I think they sneak in. After I saw what the Bills and Jets did. If Aaron Rodgers is done for the year, the Jets are screwed. Josh Allen he might have had a worse performance than probably Joe Burrow. He might have been worse than Joe Burrow.
Yeah, no, it's definitely close. Well, we're gonna get to the Bills game. I don't understand what Josh Allen does sometimes, but we'll get there. Packers Bears. I'll go last on this one. Jackson, you can go.
I was wrong. I thought the Bears would honestly dismantle the Packers. They did not. Justin Fields thought he'd look good. He did not. Yeah, that's all I got to say. I was wrong. Jordan Love did not have as good as a game as everybody's saying he did, but he didn't look bad. And I'll give him credit to that. I think at the end of the year, Jordan Love will have a good stat line at the end of the year.
I'll go next on this one. I was forced to watch this game because my girlfriend's YouTube TV does not have Red Zone. So I had to watch this whole game, and I don't think the Bears win more than 8 games. I mean, they looked bad. Justin Fields has maybe 2 seconds on a drop back, and then he runs into the back of his center and takes a sack. And their defense looked terrible. Jordan Love carved them up. Aaron Jones made them look like a Pee Wee football team in the third quarter. And if Aaron Jones doesn't get hurt, I think the Packers win that game by 30 or 35.
You know, I was on a similar, I wouldn't say the same, but I would say like a distant cousin of the boat Jack was on. So I will apologize. The Packers looked pretty good. I didn't think they were going to be good this year at all. I thought the Bears were going to win 9-10, maybe a playoff team. That won't happen. No shot in hell that will happen. I don't know about the Packers yet. That's still up in the air for me. They looked solid week 1. We'll see week 2. I don't know.
I like to think of myself as a humble human being, but God, was I right on the Packers. Jackson, for your information, if Baker Mayfield threw for 15 for 27, 3 touchdowns and 250 yards, you'd be saying a spectacular game. So the fact that you're saying he played average is just bias on your part. The Packers are going to go to the playoffs. The Packers are going to finish second in the division, like I said. They can run the ball down your throat, and then all Jordan Love needs to do. By the way, this was out his number 1 receiver, his number 1 threat in Christian Watson, and he still tore the Bears apart. This Packers team is going to compete in every single game. They're going to win 9 to 10 games, and they're going to go into the playoffs. Jackson, that is to your Chicago Bears, a nice little F you to you.
It's incredibly disrespectful. I stood up here like a man. I said I was wrong. I gave credit where credit was due. And you just went all in there and you went on your little Jake Miller bully rampage tactic you like to do.
Well, Jackson,
look at me. I'm Jake Miller. Look at me.
You said Jordan Love.
I'm the man.
You said Jordan Love.
I'm in a fraternity.
You said Jordan Love.
I'm a frat bro. I'm a frat bro. I'm a frat bro. I'm better than you, is what you just did there. It's shameful.
I was shamed. I was shamed last week for making this pick. I was shamed. I was torn apart. I was told I was an idiot.
You were not shamed.
I was shamed. Oh, yes, I was shamed. I was shamed.
You're soft.
I was told, you're trying to be different. You're trying to be different. No.
Soft.
I saw it early, and just because Carter's not here, this is the only way you argue things.
Paper skin.
No.
Paper skin.
No. You are wrong. So because you are wrong, then you go to the personal attacks.
That's absolutely not true. I said I was wrong. I said nothing. You then go and attack me. I then defend myself, you lose your mind.
Jackson, because you said Jordan Love was average this game. Well,
15 of 27.
If Baker had the stat line,
15 of 27.
You'd be crying his praises.
Against a horrible defense.
3 touchdowns. You just said that Baker.
I would argue that the Bears defense is better than the Vikings defense.
It's pretty bad.
You just pointed out one of Baker's best games was his 3 touchdown game against Pittsburgh. That is a very similar stat line to what Baker had. What Jordan Love had against the Bears is very similar.
I'm sorry. Jordan Love week 1 against the Bears is the exact same as a 20-year playoff drought in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. That's my fault. You're right. Atmosphere's I'm sorry. My fault.
We said it all.
Shame on
you. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Again, you changed the argument.
This is all you do.
Blatantly false.
This is all you do. It's whenever.
Here we go. Here we go. No, you go. You go. All you. It's all you. No, it's all you. Go ahead. Floor is yours. Spew whatever bullshit you're gonna say. It's not gonna make any sense. You're gonna steer in a different direction. When all I said was, if Baker had the stat line Jordan Love had, you would love it.
This is all you do. You go, floor is yours, and then right after you say that, you talk for another minute, and then you make up your own argument right in the middle
talk
of it.
for 5 seconds.
There you go. You can't do it, can you? You can't do it. It's always, how can I step on the little man? Whenever someone's being the small man, I admitted I was wrong, I was down, I was defeated. You stomped on my back.
I'm going to say this one more time, and then we're going to move on. I stomped on your back because you said a statement that was blatantly false. And it was biased.
Blatantly not true. Blatantly not true.
How is that blatantly not true?
You should be ashamed of yourself for what you just did there.
And you can't explain it.
And
You
you
couldn't
should be.
explain it, and you're wrong.
Should
We're going
be.
to move on.
No,
We're
and
gonna move
everyone who
on.
just
No, it's
watched
fine.
that segment
We're going to move on.
knows exactly
Rams
what just happened there.
Seahawks in Seattle. Rams Seahawks
Hold
in
on.
Seattle.
No, Hunter,
Game
the
of
Rams
the
are back.
world.
The Rams
No,
are
no,
back. The Rams
I
are
want Hunter's
back.
thought.
The Rams
I
are
want Hunter's
back.
thoughts.
The Rams are back.
Wait, Hunter, chime in on the last segment.
Okay, let's get Jack's twin Hunter here.
I
I would like to point out, well, really quick. I did not, hold on, Jackson, shut up. I know what you're going to say. Hold on. I'm just going to say really quick. I didn't attack Hunter at all because Hunter didn't say anything about Jordan's love play. I only attacked you because of Jordan's love play. Would like
And
to say
here
really
you
quick.
go again.
Well, that's why
Hunter's
I
about
said-
to talk, and then you have to put your voice over him.
I did it before he talked.
That's why I said.
But it was his turn.
That's why I said I felt like I was like a distant cousin of the boat Jack was on, because I wasn't as harsh, but I did somewhat agree. Now that segment, I'm gonna be honest, I was shoving Skittles down my mouth, so I missed a lot of it. No comment.
Was that worth your tantrum, Jack?
It wasn't a tantrum. It's just, look, I don't get bothered. Things don't bother me, but many people do get bothered, especially the little guy. And I like to speak up for the little guy. And when Jake just likes to, take his boots on, his little Sigma Nu boots for his fraternity that he's in, because he's a frat bro now, and he just likes to stomp on the little guy, I'm going to stand up for them, because I do speak for the silent majority. I speak for
Who's
the little guy. The
Who's the
people I
little
just
guy?
stood up for.
Who?
The people I just... What do you mean?
Baker? Baker's the little guy? Baker
No,
Baker
that's-
stands up for himself. He stands up for himself.
I'm not talking about Baker. I would never have to defend Baker.
All the innocent little kids that feel like their voice isn't heard. That's what you just stood up for.
Thank you. Yes, and Jake just stomps on them. No, I'm better than you. I'm a frat bro. With a pledge.
Maybe some of the kids don't like going to frats. Maybe they don't want to do that.
Exactly. They're scared. They're intimidated. And then there's Jake Miller at the door. How many girls are bringing? Get out of here. Get lost. You're not welcome here. Go to Alpha Kappa. Go to Pike. You're not welcome to Sigma Nu. I'm Sigma Nu.
Where the hell did Jake go?
Okay, so just,
Oh, there he is.
I was told I can't talk anymore from Jackson. Just to
Again, I
sum
never
everything
said
up.
that. I never
just to
said
sum
that.
everything. Just to sum everything.
You
everything
always
up.
play the victim.
I made a
Always
point.
play the victim.
I thought it was a stopping on the victim. I thought you were the victim.
You're the victim.
Oh, so it switched. Okay.
No. You
We went
stop
from
on the
a-
victim.
we went-
No.
I thought
no.
the little kids were the victim.
They're the little guy. They don't have a voice. Ryan, please. No. What Jake does is Jake looks at the victims. Jake attacks the victims. As soon as the victims fight back, I'm Jake Miller. I'm a victim. I'm a frat bro.
So we went from a football discussion about Jordan Love's stat line, and then you brought it to me being in a fraternity because you cannot fight against logic and facts.
I had a
also
98 in my logic class.
I love having Ryan here because he has to deal with this on a daily basis.
Here you
in his
go.
room.
No, because this is
So I
what
feel
you
bad
do.
for him.
This is what you do.
single
This is what
day.
you
Wait,
do, Jake.
is he the victim? Is he the little guy? I don't know. I'm very confused with like Jackson. Is he the little guy?
Because as
Is he
soon
the
as this
victim?
argument
Or
ends,
is he the little kids that can't speak?
I guess I can't talk.
There it
No, I
goes.
guess
There
I
it
can't
is.
speak.
No, there it is. No, I know you can't talk. You can't
No,
speak
I'm
at all.
gonna chime in.
All you do is talk, Jackson.
I will say this.
When the first thing I see Jack yesterday, we didn't watch the game together. I see him. I go, Deshaun Watson looked good today. No, he didn't look good. Underthrow, overthrow. You're the most negative Browns fan I've ever met in my life.
Ryan, you want to hear a quote-unquote text from Jack yesterday in like the middle of the game? Like this was the dead middle of the game.
Hold on. This was meant to be like heavily sarcastic. I swear,
Read
I
it.
didn't genuinely mean this.
And
What did you
here's the
say?
lies. No,
What
this
did you
is
say?
blatantly not true.
What did you say? I just want you to. Are you?
Like, no.
explain it.
Okay, no, this was right after the Deshaun Watson pick. I
The ball
said,
got tipped.
I understand, but a real time it looked really stupid.
Fair enough.
I said, now is the time to go to DTR. As a joke. I didn't mean it.
No, you did. There was a small part of you that did.
A small part,
that's too
but not
true.
most of it.
That's so true. There was a
No,
part
like,
of you that did.
The tip. The tip was like, maybe. But the majority was like, no. All right, if we're done with this.
Am I ready now? Am I okay?
Well, I was just talking, and that's fine.
no,
It's
no,
cool.
I can't speak anymore. I know you're the little
Well,
guy.
if you're done with this barrage of arms on my little people, yeah, we can move on.
Just really, really quick, because we're gonna move on.
Are
So
we?
These little people are the little people that thought Jordan Love didn't play well. That's what you're speaking out for the little kids that thought Jordan Love didn't
in
play
fairness,
well.
I will explain. I will say this. I will say this. I think I know where Jack's coming from here.
Thank you.
It's the
No, he
kids.
does. No, he does every episode. Jack says something that doesn't make sense, and then Hunter just does it to get
It's the
beefs
kids
him up
that-
because
it's the kids
Jack
that-
needs to be fed.
It's the blue collar kids that put their head down and get to work. You know, maybe they sit alone at lunch.
That's not. Ja- yeah, that
Yes.
describes Jackson. Blue
Yes.
collar, hardworking. That describes him.
I'll
Just-
sit on
it's-
tail for Jack here. Jack works hard with his schoolwork. He does.
Oh no, he does. But you would never use the words blue collar and like the hardworking, like the grit that Jack had to go through in his life.
Yeah, I would never
None of
use
us-
blue
none of
collar
us
to
have
describe
that.
Jack. No.
We were
I'm gritty.
stupid. Jack's BS car, and the only way it gets filled when Hunter just fuels it up, and then it can go
My-
more.
My
Yes.
BS car.
Your BS
Want it to be
car.
more of a
The
meter?
bull-
A car
the
seems
bull-
really stupid.
The bullshit that spews, and the only way it can keep going is that Hunter feeds it, and Hunter fuels it up, and he does it every single time. And we go down this path. It makes no sense.
Uh-huh. I mean, just say it. I mean, you're stepping on the foots of the minorities, which is the silent majority.
What do you mean by minorities, Jack?
The people that agree with me, which is a silent majority. I've been ready to move on for the longest time, but it's just been a constant brigade from Jacob.
The
So
Rams
whenever
are
you're
back.
ready, Jake.
The Rams are back.
They look good.
Am I okay to speak here, Jackson?
I've never once said I'm a big believer of the First Amendment. Whenever you're ready.
Don't want to step on your toes.
They're not my toes. They're the toes of the little people.
I can go. If we want to break up this stalemate here.
Yeah, Brad, just you go ahead.
My thought before the season was I was a little confused on why everyone had given up on Matt Stafford. I think he's been one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the last decade. And he had a down year. The Rams were plagued with injuries on both sides of the ball. And I think the Seahawks had a fluke year, and I think the Rams proved this week that they're back. I don't know what Cooper Kupp's status is. I think Cooper Kupp's status is very, very important to what the Rams do, but I think they'll be fine. I think they finished second in that division.
I'll piggyback off that. The Rams were a lot better than I thought they were going to be. I don't think they're able to sustain the type of success they had. I think they're probably an 8-9 team, but they played a lot better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I'll talk
I
about.
think 9 wins is a good bar.
Yeah, I'll talk about the Seahawks a little bit. I think the Seahawks were one of the most overhyped teams coming into the season. I did not think the Seahawks were going to be good at all.
They'll be fine.
No, they won't be. The
They'll
Seahawks
be fine. This is a classic overreaction. They'll be fine.
will sit, but no, they won't be.
What do you mean they were overhyped?
Everyone was blowing Geno Smith's back out, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, the Seahawks are solid. Like Seahawks are going to be good." Like everyone thought the Seahawks were going to be like a good football team this year. They're not going to be good.
They were last year. Why wouldn't they sustain if they had the same players and they added more?
Because they have Geno Smith. No one considers Geno Smith a good quarterback. Like, I know he played good last year. That was
That's not true.
fluky. That was so fluky. Geno Smith is not good.
So you're saying that his first year as a rookie was what we should be looking at instead of him like 8 years as a veteran quarterback. That was a fluke instead of his first year as a rookie with the Jets on a horrible roster.
Correct.
Okay.
I agree with Hunter. I think the Seahawks are like the Browns of the year after they made the playoffs.
Yes.
Everyone thought they were going to take the step, and they just regressed.
Yes.
Same with the Giants, but that's neither here nor there.
The Seahawks will go into Detroit and beat the Lions week 2. Just gonna say that now.
You see, no, listen.
Detroit's coming in on a high. They just beat the Chiefs. All this momentum coming in. The Seahawks will go in there and they will beat the Lions.
Hey, Jack. Jack, I feel like the little guy right now. I feel like I'm just getting stomped, and there's nothing I can do about it just because he's big.
It's unbelievable, and he genuinely doesn't like think anything of it either. Like, he doesn't know he does this. I think it's what drives me the most crazy.
So I'm the bully who's rooting for the team that no one believes in.
That's not why. And see, this is you're so agnostically self-centered. You don't even see what the issue is.
What's the issue?
You can't see it.
No, you explain it. I want you to explain the issue right now in the next 20 seconds. That makes sense.
I'm not going to, because
There we
if
go.
you can't see it, there's no reason to. If I explain it, you're not going to get it.
There we go.
No, and the thing is, everyone listening, I think they know exactly what Hunter and I are talking about. Oh, man.
You lead the show. You go.
That's not my job. It's never been my job. I mean, I'll do it if you want, because here you go. It's always, how can I make it about me? So let's go. Next game. What game do we just did? The Rams game. Oh, okay, cool. Next game. Dallas and New York. There was a song made about this game. It's by Trey
You got
Kennedy.
the game wrong, you moron.
Well, I'm looking at ESPN, and
You already
know.
Rams
You already-
Seattle.
I thought he
And
was
then
right.
the next game after Rams Seattle is Dallas New York. And we went over every other game. So I
Colts,
don't think I got...
Texans.
We already went over that
shit.
game. Oh.
Hold on.
Oh.
I was on the
Did we
wrong.
do Colts Texans?
Oh.
No, we
Here
did.
you go.
I was on the wrong
Uh-oh.
week. That's on me. I was on the wrong week.
I'm sorry, Jackson.
Wait, yeah, Colts and Texans.
Oh, I'm
is
sorry.
fun.
No, because you see, Jackson, unlike you, who is the most egotistical,
Don't even know what that
most
means.
arrogant person on the planet Earth.
I'm as humble as they come.
You couldn't even get the words out.
I just did.
Jackson O'Neal's biggest supporter and the person that pats him on the back the most is Jackson O'Neal.
I thought you were going to say my mom.
I feel like that just proves Jake's point right there.
Thank you, Ryan.
I'm smart. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. No, apologize.
I already did.
Mean it.
I did, but I said it.
No, you didn't.
I said I apologize, Jackson. I got the game wrong.
What does Joe Biden say? You lying,
You see-
dog-faced pony soldier?
I apologize and didn't make a sly comment with that apology.
You just did.
Okay, Jack, what game?
Oh, we're on Dallas, New York. Arguably, I can't say that. Gotta make a joke.
No, say it. Say it. Say it. I know what you
Can't.
want to say. Say it.
I want to. I can't. It'd be frowned upon. Trouble in New York.
For which sport?
Football.
All of them, but that's neither here
That was
nor
a
there.
tough game to watch, you know. Every single player on the Giants looked bad. That offensive line was terrible. You think you could overreact here and say this Giants team wins 4 games.
Huge overreaction.
I wouldn't be quick to call that an overreaction. If you were to make that reaction,
I think that's a huge overreaction, but I don't think the Cowboys are as good as that score says. I think that's a fluke. How many? Well, the special teams touchdown and a pick six.
yeah, do you like Mike McCarthy as the play caller this year?
How many years did he call plays in Green Bay?
I don't know, but there's also a decade ago, and then he failed his last few years there. And he called plays his last year there, and then the next year they went 13-3 without him. First year without him.
Their offense wasn't that good. Saw it yesterday.
No, I didn't think it was
Like, I
either
think-
something special.
What did Dak throw? I think Dak had less than 200 yards.
Yeah, Dak didn't look great. The running game was all right, but it wasn't like, wow, that's a great running game.
They had great field position on every drive.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I don't like him as a play caller.
I'm not a big Mike McCarthy guy. Now, Jake, I don't want to speak for you here. So speak.
Cowboys look great. Thought they were my NFC, one of the NFC champion pick. Love the Cowboys. Great start.
How are you doing this? Speak. Actually talk.
You caused this, so I'm just gonna sit here quietly.
think-
and just
you
do
think
my
the
thing.
Cowboys-
I caused this.
You
I
think the
caused
Cowboys
this.
win the NFC?
Purely at you. Yeah,
You think the Cowboys win the NFC?
yeah. I love the Cowboys this year. I think the
More than the
NFC
49ers
is,
or the
NFC
Eagles.
is very weak. I think the 49ers get injured. I think McCaffrey's going to tear his ACL at some point. I hope it doesn't, but
I
it's just
think they're
something
better than the
that
Cowboys without him. Like, obviously that's a big loss, but I don't think it kills their
I don't know.
chances.
You just got like Debo always gets hurt. Purdy got hurt. McCaffrey got hurt. Kittle gets hurt. Their line, Williams always seems to get injured. I don't know. That's what I feel like Dallas just stays healthy. I think they may. I honestly think they make the NFC Championship game, and then if the 49ers are not there, I think they win it.
I think the Eagles are better too. But
And the NFC just sucks. It's
Yeah.
it's a really easy conference. Sorry, Mr. O'Neill, your turn, buddy.
I already talked. I'm good. I don't know why you want to go back to me there.
I didn't want to overtake my time, so
Now, here you go. You're the victim again. It's unbelievable.
I don't have much to say. I'm kind of with Jake. I actually like the Cowboys this year. I don't like saying that, but I think the Cowboys are going to be a good football team, and my God, they start up. Got to stay consistent, though. They do this every year.
Thoughts on Cowgirls?
I think if you're going to look for any analysis on this game, go to Frank the Tank's TikTok. Just watch the TikToks he made in the last 3 minutes of this game.
Next game.
Yeah, Jake, are you going to close us off, or should I be the bigger man here?
next game, Monday night. Jets played the oh god, I can't think of the team right now. The Bills.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll take the front on this one. Storyline: Aaron Rodgers, in his Jets
dies.
debut. 0 completions, 0 touchdowns, 0 yards, 1 ruptured Achilles.
No,
Season,
we don't know that.
Rob Saleh just said it looks horrible.
But he didn't say rush.
We're gonna put it out there. Frenemies had it first. We're gonna confirm it here on Frenemies that Aaron Rodgers has ruptured his Achilles or has a severe enough injury where he's out for the season. On Frenemies first, confirmed. We had it first. When you hear it later, like a day or two from now, after the MRI, you can think Frenemies had it first. We're in the know more so than the other guys. So that you would think is the main storyline. The Jets paid all this money for Aaron Rodgers. They went all in. They built a super team. Best roster the Jets have had maybe this millennia. Aaron Rodgers didn't even get a completion before his season ended. You have to feel for Jets fans. You have to feel for New York. That is one of the worst breaks I've ever seen in sports ever. I've never in my life seen something like that. Ryan said it earlier. It was similar to the Gordon Hayward injury against Cleveland when the Boston Celtics went all in, added Gordon Hayward, and he played a minute and a half. I would argue this is worse, but it's very similar. I've never seen anything like this ever in sports. I feel bad for the Jets. I feel bad for Rodgers. I feel bad for Jets fans. That said, the Jets somehow won this game with Zach Wilson as their quarterback. Never in a million years would I have guessed that's how the NFL script goes for the first Monday Night Football game of the year.
I agree with everything you said. I do have one thing. I don't root for injuries. If I could have picked one NFL player to rupture their Achilles in their debut, I would have picked Aaron Rodgers. So I'm not too upset that he is done for the year.
Really?
I hate Aaron Rodgers more than any other human on the planet.
Ryan's a big Vax guy.
No.
What analysis do I have here? I don't know. I feel like the Bills do this shit every year. Like, they always suck to begin the season. They always pick it up. But, like Jake, I know Jake said he's going to touch on it. The Josh Allen decision-making is just so mind-boggling sometimes. Like, I just don't understand it. I mean, some of the throws he makes are just, like, horrible. And he's so talented, so it's not like he could really do anything about it. But, like, some of his decision-making is awful.
His last four drives consisted of 3 turnovers. Now we'll get to the never mind. Can't bring that up. Forgot. Never mind. Let's just say something in this game went really well for Hunter and went really poor for Jake. What that could be, we don't know.
Also, the Manning cast is absolutely electric. Peyton Manning almost had a heart attack like 8 times in the first half.
Yeah, no, Zach Wilson nearly killed him. Yes, victim.
I'd like to make a quick statement really quick. I don't know why I said quick twice. We did start filming this on 9/11. So first off, we are extremely appreciative of our first responders and everything. 22-year anniversary to all our firefighters out there, our policemen and everyone. Thank you so much. And we're very appreciative.
Thank you.
About the game.
Thank you.
Zach Wilson season for Jets fans. I mean, it's probably the worst news you could have heard.
Well,
they won, but I feel like
Put it into perspective.
I feel like you'd rather have Aaron Rodgers and lose than have won that game and then have Zach Wilson as your quarterback. I feel like all Jets fans would have taken that.
I agree.
The last time Nathaniel Hackett was the play caller for a quarterback with the last name Wilson, it went really badly.
Well, that's why he's not the head coach anymore.
Yes, but I thought it was it's like how Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy, and Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. And Lincoln was shot at Ford's, but Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln.
How about that?
Wild. How does that relate to football? Because, I mean, that would just be like Lincoln having the same secretary as Kennedy instead of... But, it's Jack, so...
I just thought it was an interesting correlation. And, like those 2 presidents, it didn't end well. I don't expect this one to end well either. I'm being for the... I mean, yeah, Kennedy and Lincoln, they both won the elections. They both lost at life. I would expect it to be a bad ending for this correlation as well.
So you would argue that Abraham Lincoln's life is...
Huh?
You would argue that Abraham Lincoln's life is a failure.
No, I never said that.
Well, you said he lost at life.
The end of his life was a failure because he died.
Well, at the end of his life, he abolished slavery.
Well,
what are we talking about? We are a sports podcast.
Not at the very end. Like, the very end of his life, he was watching a play.
Listeners,
Here's Wilksy.
You're getting a bit of a future Frenemies take, Frenemies After Dark, that will be introduced eventually.
All right, I'll wrap it up because Jake doesn't want to. We're going to go to final thoughts. Final thoughts, anybody?
The Browns are going to the Super Bowl.
You know,
Browns to the Super Bowl is Ryan's final thought. Hunter?
considering the day, it was a good bounce back for the Jets.
Yes. Jacob, final word here.
Go Browns.
Yes. Go Browns indeed. Oh, all right. Yes. What an episode. Ryan, thank you for joining us. He has been a huge fan of Frenemies, maybe one of our biggest. It's really cool to finally have him on. Knowing Carter, this might be a recurring situation, so get used to that face. He'll definitely make some appearances on Frenemies After Dark, as some of the things Ryan said to me are things I still yet can't comprehend. So there's a solid chance you see this man on Frenemies After Dark following the NFL season. But a lot of NFL season to go, a lot of excitement. Thank you, as always, to the best technical producer and editor out there, Hayes. You are the man. You are amazing. Frenemies Nation, thank you. Good night. And enjoy the NFL season.